Okay, so this is my first impressions on Kabaneri, Iron Fortress. I watched episode 1 about 2 days ago, and I actually wrapped up 2 through 6 tonight with my good friends Nick, Mo, and Nappy. I showed them the anime because I'm like, hey, yo guys, I watched this really good anime. It's very similar to Attack on Titan, and it was incredible. I will probably do a video comparison with Attack on Titan and Kabaneri the Iron Fortress, since there's so many scenes, upcoming hype moments, the animation similarities, little sparkling dots of flames that just, there's no real flames, they just kind of do that for their animation. Character build up, characters themselves, even the voices. Ikuma's best friend is actually voiced by the exact same Japanese voice actor from Eren Yeager. Fun fact. So I will be making a separate video along with that, but here's my first impressions, recommendations, and such like that. But basically, this anime is great. Main character Akuma, we see Mume. She is the girl that I guess is just a random girl that we see who is my favorite. All right, that is one of my favorite characters. That actually is my favorite character. She's amazing. She's one of the waifus of the year. So far, she's my favorite. I thought Megumin definitely was hitting that spot for me, but it's looking like Mume is definitely hitting that spot. I love girls that just have the red aspect scheme for their eyes or clothing, you know, that are just powerful, like Megumin and Mume. Oh my god, any girls who's red replaces the letter M, you are mine. But I love her because she's so mysterious, you know? We just learned about her backstory in episode 6, which I'm not going to talk about because it's just episode 1 review. I'll be doing 2 through 6, probably somewhere this week, and then actually episode 7 because it's a Thursday anime, so you're seeing that later on in the week. Basically this boy named Ikuma, and he lives inside of the walls. It's very similar like Attack on Titan. They live inside of these walls, and there are these things where they're called Kabane, which are pretty much like zombified people. They're very unclear about how a Kabane even come to be, you know? Which I think maybe they're gonna talk about that later on. Because similar to Attack on Titan, they're very unclear in the anime how the Titans came to be, where they came from, how they started. In the manga, they actually explained that, but it's very unclear, you know? It is just, please ignore that noise. But it's very unclear to how these Kabanes even cease to exist. Like, how do they start? What happened? We know it's an infection, but how did this infection start? Who started it? How did it happen? There's little to no information about that at all, which is a little disappointing, but it's also taking the same route as Attack on Titan. And then also as well, it's his main character Ikuma, I keep messing up his name, Akuma, and he basically is stupid edgy. Like, he's this edgelord that no one likes, that he would just do anything that he needs to do to try and defeat all these Kabanes, similar to how Eren wants to kill every single Titan. I was like, okay, so he must have lost either like a mom or something like that. And they show multiple flashbacks as well in this episode of where there's a girl, and at first I thought it was his mom. In episode 2, they actually do point out that it is his sister who's killed by a Kabane, and he had to kill her. So before she fully became a Kabane, she was in mid-transformation, which is terribly upsetting. They did explain though how you can become a Kabane. If a Kabane bites you, if you get bitten by one, then the infection will spread, but you are able to stop it. Or it's very risky, and they didn't make that clear as well. If you are actually able to stop it or not, do you get lucky or not? Mume, which I'm not going to talk about in episode 2 to 6 review, is definitely the key soul to that though. To that piece of information, but they're not clear on that as well. They go clear on that, I guess barely clear on that more along as you progress in the anime. But yeah, if you get bitten by a Kabane, then it's gonna spread throughout your entire body, and it actually will mentally take over your mind then once it hit your brain. My man Akuma actually got bitten by one when he was being an edgelord inside of the factory, and there's also the Bushis. It seems to be some type of elite class, I'm guessing. I want to say they're an elite class, like the rich people, the hierarchy. There's Ayame, there's Kurusu, and there's a few other people as well, which you still don't know much names about. They all play roles to the Bushi, and at the moment I saw Ayame look at Ikuma, I'm like, why does she like him already? How did you know he wanted to be a hero? This is anime as hell. How did she know that? He spoke nothing about that. He would always talk about it, but like never in front of her. That's the first time that they met. How did she know? She is not a mind reader. Like, that is just anime, generic anime, where a girl or guy will instantaneously know what's inside of someone's head, and you, the viewer, are the only person that knows. Like, how they said that is because it's coincidental, you know? Like, what? That kind of set me off. But Also, as well, I love Lume so much. Did I say I love Lume? Do we got a little fan service Lume in the beginning? I don't know how old she is. She looks young, but shit, I'm that age too. I might be 15. But definitely my favorite character. Moving on though, I knew that episode 1 was gonna be very similar to Attack on Titan, to where the zombies were on a train and they were letting the train, it was going way too fast and they couldn't close the gate in time, and I'm like, they barely attempted that. You could have closed the gate a lot quicker. As soon as you saw it not slowing down that split second, you could have closed it a lot quicker, because everything in this town runs off of steam. So they definitely could have powered up some more steam inside of that gate to close the gate, but nah, they let a whole army of zombies come in, and he's like, oh, I'm screwed, I'm not dealing with this. And they ran. All these zombies, similar to how all the Titans were able to raid in on the walls of Wall Maria, which I think it was the first wall. That's exactly, it was Wall Rose or Wall Maria. I get the names mixed up. It's been a while since I watched Attack on Titan, but it was a wall. All right, the point is, it was a wall. It was taking down all these Titans, came through and bombarded everybody and killed everybody. Similar to how in Kabaneri, the Iron Fortress, they got in through the gates and then they're killing everybody, absolutely everybody. And they're like these heart like infested demons that just zombies, just completely null and brain. Some of them are powerful, I'm not gonna lie, some of them are powerful, some of them are skilled, but they're all still brainlessly dead. You know, they all lust and thirst for blood, similar to how Ghoul from Tokyo Ghoul, they all kind of thirst for blood as well. So they're killing everybody in the town, and I'm like, oh my god, it's from 0 to 100. My man Akuma's in jail, someone let him out. I thought Mumi was gonna let him out, but she didn't, she just dipped. And I was like, okay, he's a smart man, he can get out, he does get out on his own. He's a very intelligent man, by the way, like he's actually very smart. The difference between him and Eren Yeager is Eren Yeager was some clueless hapsap that was just, you know, obsessed with wanting to gain power. He was on a Sasuke grind, obsessed with wanting to gain power, become the strongest, and kill the Titans. Whereas Akuma actually, practiced 5 years. He learned, he educated, he found out what makes them tick, how to defeat them, their weak spot, what he needs to do to kill them, and he built his own steam-powered gun machine, which shoots jet pistols with steam power. Everything is steam-powered. And one of his friends, who actually has the exact same voice as Eren Yeager, I forget his name, it started with the T, as the big guy, told him that he needs more explosive power. Once he got this more explosive power, he was definitely then capable of actually destroying and piercing through their hearts, because the bullets that they have now don't really pierce through the hearts, they more along knock them down, and I think eventually they pierce through the hearts. Like a lot of bullets it takes for them to pierce through the hearts, whereas the one that he has can pierce through the hearts like instantaneously. And my man is crazy. Get this, right? As soon as he sees the zombies overtaking the entire city, he like slashes a huge gash in his arm. I'm like, you are edgy, bro. He could have just done a very small cut, but instead he did a huge cut, which I guess it makes sense because he needed a whole bloodstream to like lead his way back into his house. But he could have gotten a small amount of blood, and they definitely would have scented it, because they're very like sensitive to blood. They will know when blood is there, and they will like instantaneously and brain-mindedly follow the bloodstream and path to whoever did it. So he took out way too much blood. I'm surprised he lived. That was a massive gash. God, that was so edgy and dark to do. He does that to bait the zombie, right? And he's baiting the zombie because he wanted to risk it all in this jet pistol bullet gun thing that he has, and he wanted to risk it all. It was literally a risk, or it was hit or miss, because it was going to be a field test. It's the first time that he's trying it with more explosive powers. So there was a major risk into it, since it would have probably not have worked out, and maybe might have worked out. He got lucky and it worked out, and now it always works out, since he did get lucky with his theory. I would have definitely tested it out first, but he got lucky with the theory. He did actually blast through that zombie, but unfortunately he was getting bit, and I was like, okay, this is Eren Yeager. He's gonna gain the power of these zombies. There's no way that they're just gonna come off like this, because the first time when I watched Attack on Titan, when it was still ongoing, right? It was a few years back when it was ongoing, Eren Yeager just died, and we all thought that he was dead. Comes back as a Titan. I'm just like, okay, so this guy looks like he's gonna die. And we want to know, is he gonna become a zombie, or is he just gonna find a cure? And he was literally ready. My man was set. Eren was uncluelessly ready, and it was anime plot that gave him those Titan powers. So my man Akuma actually was educated, did all the procedures to stop from this disease spreading to his brain, his entire body. But unfortunately, it did spread to his entire body, but the brain, and the brain is the most important part. He bulleted all of this armor around his arm, that way that it would slow down the bloodstream going from his body, from that portion up into his brain, which is very intelligent and smart. And then he then tied around his neck and was hanging himself and squeezing his neck. And I was like, how are you alive? How are you alive? He is squeezing that neck, about to hang himself, which he basically was hanging himself. I was so hyped watching this. And then all of it just shuts right back down. All of it shuts right back down. Again, another theory that he tested out. He did not know that was going to happen. He just did that so it would not go through his brain. He thought that it was just going to stop. You know, he didn't think that it was going to go away. He thought that it was just going to stop at his body and it would not go to his brain. He would do everything he could. I think he was maybe trying to kill himself, maybe, but he was stopping it from reaching his brain is what he was trying to do, you know? And then all just shuts right back down and his hair, a little strand of it turns white. I'm like, yep, he just obtained the power. He just, at this very given moment, obtained the power. Their entire, like, I think they call it factions, was overrun by these Kabanes and they were just torn apart then. And my girl Mume at the end sliced up that zombie's Kabane's head like it was nothing. It was like, ha! And I was like, oh my god, you're my favorite character. I do not care what anybody says. That is the favorite character like of this year, and I'm probably just saying it because I'm hyped up right now, but she's probably my favorite female protagonist of the year of 2016. And you can say stuff like that now because we're halfway into the year. You are eligible to say stuff like that now. If you were saying that in 2016, you were not funny, but you're eligible to say stuff like that now. I just lost my shit. So hype. I 1000% recommend this. Even if you don't think this anime is good, episode 1 is worth the shot. You can stop after that if you don't think it's good. You can stop. You can stop. But it will make you want to learn more information about it. How did these Kabanes begin to be? How did he get away with it? What was his more of his backstory? More of Mume's backstory? How would they get out of this? Because they have to get on the train and they got to go depart into a completely different faction now since what is overran by Kabanes. And what is his zombie part called? Which is actually his zombie powers, his Kabane powers are pretty much called Kabaneri, which it's like, I forget the name for it, but it's like Toki Ghoul Kaneki was half human and half ghoul. It's like that, where they're half Kabane and half human, which is Kabaneri, which they're literally in between that, where they have the powers of a Kabane, but they're also human and have a sane mind. So the body of a Kabane, to where they can get hurt, the injury won't be as bad compared to like a human. They can be bit by other Kabanes and not be injured and not be overtaken. Then the only way how they can become a Kabane fully is if they don't get any blood, and then they go periods of long times, the periods without that. And yeah, probably leaving that for the review, but it's a first impression, so it's good to know about that. But that's gonna be it though for this first impression. I'll be having a first impression out as well of ReZero. The show drove me insane as well, and my yoga and Kiznaiver. And I'm probably doing weekly reviews of Super, One Piece, Naruto, which I need to get back into that. And then My Hero, Kabaneri, ReZero. I think that's my total for now. And then next month is when I'm gonna start be doing every single anime review, at least trying to. But that's it. Let me know what you thought about this. It was absolutely insane. I need thoughts. And with that being said, like the video, it helps out a lot. Subscribe if you already haven't, and I'm gonna get out of here. Goodbye.